So, I believe it would be Baby Space Shark.
Baby space shark, do 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 do. Baby space shark, do do.
Gotta think of some variation that has the right number of syllables. Young Space Shark, do 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 do. Well, no matter. Oh, look over there. There's some rails that we're already off of. Hello and welcome.
It don't take long.
It never does. I would say that's for our group, but I have been in more than one group. That's kind of standard.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Critical Knowledge. This is a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign setting. I am Crash. I will be your DM for the evening. Tonight I am joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Craig, always listening, always watching, never creepy. But also, we have our players tonight. We have April, Matt, Millie, and Cindy. And it's been a little while. What happened?
Okay. So we're like in the underground and we're like going through and I'm like being cool with my bows and arrows. Choo, 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 and I'm collecting things and it's really cool. And like I talked. Anyway, so we go through this room. We're avoiding Thomas the Tank Engine. We are not looking at green circles. They don't exist. They aren't important. Who cares? And we get... and eventually we get to this room that has a huge pile of shiny stuff, and I go through it, and I'm like, shiny! And I find this, actually, wait, before I do that, I press all these buttons, and the door opens, and confetti goes everywhere, and glitter. Anyway, then I go through, and I'm like, shiny things, and I find this CD, an AOL Online CD, test trial CD, and I look at it, and it connects to my brain and goes, ah! And then suddenly I can speak languages, or read them at least. Anyway, so then I read this thing that's like, oh no, this is how they're creating the evil things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but like, I'm gonna be entirely honest, I'm really not the best at reading. But I know this, so I grab the paper because I'm smart. And I know who I am and my inabilities. And anyways, I grab it, and then there's Kenku there, and I say hi, and I wake one up, and the other one gets woken up too with Mage Hand, and I befriend them, and I tell them we're friends, and then they take a moment to believe me, but then they're like, oh my gosh, yay, and so we're gonna take them back to Nightlight, but first we gotta cure them a bit. We cured one of them with this spell, and we cured one of them with my potion that's supposed to cure death, but not really, but I think it should cure death, even though the DM disagrees with me, and then... the other one, we're like, oh gosh, and we do a quick spell on it when it starts to get all funky, and we're like, no, and then now we're gonna take it back to Nightlight, and we're gonna fix it.
We're gonna hope that Nightlight or Bright Light can fix it.
Nightlight.
I continue. Inspiration, by the way, for Xanthus. I continue to be thrilled that this retelling is technically true when filtered through the ADD 7-foot-tall cat that is Hero the Tabaxi.
I only take notes or remember things that I know that I actually would, so that's all that I actually remember.
So your notes for the entire campaign are, what, a paragraph and a half?
Maybe. Bullet points.
That's about what I have, too. It just... I have a few important notes of, like, I have Umeli of the Nine Hands, Bindle Brightlight.
Who's the Nine Hands?
Well, that was something one of the goblins talked about, and I thought the Kenku mentioned the name, too.
The Kenku also mentioned the name, yes.
Okay,
the goblins! They're the ones who gave me the food, and then I got my head stuck in the pot, but then I got it out.
So, when we departed, the goblins were going to at least... have a scout or have a guide to lead us past all the pit traps that we found the hard way.
Yes.
Because we don't want to find them again the hard way.
I'm good at those.
It's not so much hard way. You actually find them very easily, which is amazing considering your low perception.
I don't want to find them that easily again.
Spoil sport. Well, in any case, you have a fairly uneventful trip back. You make it double timing because for the 3 Kenku, whose names are Waves on Sand, Horseshoes on Cobblestones, and Foghorn. Only not those words, those sounds are their names.
Foghorn.
So the one whose name is Waves on Sand, they were cured outright. The effect that was used on them made the various things that had been attached to them just fall right off. The other two, the cures, and I'm using air quotes here.
Is that like the band?
Who?
Monday I can break my heart. Tuesday doesn't even start 'cause Friday I'm in love. Like them?
No, you
Another
missed it.
copyright
I said Who, which was another band. Never mind. We're doing it live. They were on first in that particular concert.
Or who was on
Then
second?
after that, no, Who was on first?
But what was on second?
After that, the band
Correct.
was second. Who was on first? After them was the band.
Oh.
They Might Be Giants were on third. Moving forward.
They might be giants.
They might be.
Oh. Anyway.
Anyway, the other two, you didn't so much cure them as you delayed the onset of them turning into Cypher Whites. So you wisely decided, let's hurry back to see if we can deal with this.
Are
As
we going to
opposed to-
unleash zombies in the middle of town central?
What?
Are we going to
I
unleash
mean-
zombies in the middle of the town center?
Only if you want to.
I don't want
I have
to.
no desire to.
Yeah, I was hoping that was like a strong no.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the double timing idea is to get them to bright light so that perhaps they may read the manual that you have or the paper and hopefully figure out another way to.
I'm really looking forward to bound into Nightlight's science lair and be like, "Hi, Nightlight, I got you some experiments. Here you go. Here's instructions. Bye," and then run off.
We're hoping that that Bindle may be able to affect a cure that may be.
By the
I
way,
don't
my
know.
magic potion did something. Bye.
Yeah. Well, and I can give Bindle a little more information because I know what I did to both of them. The one that got cured and the one that I laid on hands on with disease or cure disease. So hopefully that will help provide them some useful information.
so I am perfectly fine with muting myself for the rest of the evening if you want to continue having back and forths like this. I'm cool with this. I'm just saying, I'm throwing this out there. That is an option available. I don't have to actually do anything if you don't want me to. And there's no sarcasm there. I know I'm very often sarcastic, but in this case, no, I'm not. This is glorious. The DM is steepling his fingers and taking notes. Not at the same time, because taking notes with steepled fingers is actually very hard to do. So,
Telling the story for you.
with this said, the reason why I didn't flat out say, no, you're not going to release zombies is because I have been a DM long enough to know to not deal in absolutes like a Sith. If I say, no, this is not going to happen, even if I say it privately, even if I say it when no one is listening,
It's gonna happen.
it's going to happen.
Make it happen.
The party will move heaven and earth, in some cases literally, and in one case a moon, to make that thing happen. The moon was a recent thing. So as you burst your way through the front doors to the Ogmanite Enclave, there is a rather nondescript human that is behind the front desk. They have what appears to be a woodworking magazine draped over their face as they're reclined back in the chair that's not designed to be reclined back in, with their feet on the desk. And there is a slight snoring sound coming from underneath the woodworking magazine.
Here to talk to Nightlight.
There is no reaction.
I pat them on the head.
Okay, I'm going to make a dexterity check.
I am, by the way, on the desk, leaning over.
Of course you are. Okay. Wow, I rolled an 18. I was expecting them to fall off the chair. They managed to not. They are, however, very startled to have a 7-foot-tall tabaxi standing on the desk in front of them, looking them directly in the eyes.
I crouched, just like, hey.
That's fitting my mental image of what's taking place. Yes.
Hi. I'm Hero, and we're here to see Nightlight. We have science to talk about. I found science, and they told us to look for science, and I found it.
He blinks once.
We're looking for Bindle bright light, as I say, kind of keep around the tabaxi.
Oh.
I realize that my face is probably not much better, but
He looks back at the tabaxi who's in his face and says, your name wouldn't be Kevin, would it?
Hero.
Okay,
Kevin?
good. Because I didn't think
Kevin?
so.
Is that like the page person I heard about? I'm Hero.
I don't think I'm going to spend a lot of time telling you about Paige.
Okay.
But
What they all say.
okay, but you're here to see Miss Brightlight.
Yeah, Nightlight.
This person looks over at Xanthus, and then he looks over and notices that there's not just the two of you, because what he thought was some type of houseplant that was brought in with some ornaments on it. It was actually the topmost portions of Nyx, the gnome who still has some growth coming out of the top of her head.
I wave when he looks at me.
We found them. That's our science.
That's
Hi.
part of the science.
I also
Hi.
found documents explaining the science that happened to them. I can read it because I ate AOL online.
AOL on...
Don't think too hard about it, my friend.
Don't.
How
Really
do you know
don't.
about AOL?
I ate the CD. I found it.
How do you know about CDs?
It attached itself to his forehead.
Yeah, and I have knowledge.
This
You can
is
read
one
that
of those
paper.
moments.
Yeah.
This is one of those moments where every time you answer one of my questions, I have more questions than I had before you showed up.
See, that I need to talk to Nightlight because we found science.
So do we. Any questions?
My name is
Okay.
Hero. I am 16.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Hero.
Thank you.
And you are...
I am
I'm
Xanthus
Nick.
Grey Castle.
I'm Nyx.
And we're going to assume that Jaren is here, even though Eric could not be here this evening. So Jaren introduces himself in the wonderful voice
This is
that
my
Eric
dad.
uses. I'm going to assume adoption.
Yes.
Yeah,
Assume correctly.
he found
Okay.
me.
Okay. And the kenku that look like they're cosplaying? And
That's
the-
and clip clop.
They are part of the science, as Millie or Hero described. We found them in a, how shall we say, underground
The
domicile.
scientist is doing experiments on them to turn them into cipher monsters, and so we stopped the process and also discovered the way that the process happens, and we're hoping to engineer a way to undo it.
We know certain magic can remove it, and other magics can halt it, but we don't know if there's any other way to reverse it.
I'm, by the way, now playing with my tail after my
Okay.
intelligent information.
after your incredibly intelligent information that you say all at once, the person behind the counter reaches under the desk, opens a drawer, and hands you a cookie.
Thank you. What is? Wait! I gotta ask first. Father, can I eat this cookie?
I believe it is safe. You may eat
Okay.
cookies.
It has raisins.
Yeah. But I learned. See, I learned. I ask first.
So
That's a
you
good
eat the
hero.
oatmeal raisin cookie.
Of course I do. It tastes better than the river milk.
Or the AOL CD.
The AOL CD was not eaten.
No, it was.
She thought about it. Or
ingested.
he thought about it.
I did.
Valid. Okay.
Still dreaming about that pill.
The one that gave you 4 arms.
Yeah, the one that Agrippa took from me.
Oh, that one. The one that will make you sweat out a beneficial chemical of some kind.
Exactly. I'm still dreaming about that.
I'm sorry, I'm just taking a moment to imagine the results if you had actually consumed that pill immediately.
I would have licked my fur and then been like amazing.
Considering some of the chemicals that you would have sweated out, yes, it would have been amazing. For me, it would have been amazing for me.
And for me, because I recognize Hero's likelihood to make a mistake. But yes, sorry, continuing.
Okay, well, looking at the time, my shift is almost over. If you can wait 5 minutes or so, I'll take you over to see Miss Brightlight.
That works for me.
Okay.
How
Okay.
to entertain Hero for 5 minutes.
I play with the tail.
Hero, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Going to my page.
No, you're playing hero tonight.
I know, but I got a 16.
Okay, so you can RP it otherwise, but you successfully are aware of the fact that maybe you should not cause any mischief for 5 minutes.
I sit down and I do play with Father's Tale.
I will entertain them enough to do so.
Every now and then the tail twitches to be just out of reach. Okay, 5 minutes later, a gnome comes in and takes a seat, and the human behind the counter gets up and says, "Right this way." And as you are walking over to what appears to be a set of double doors, the gnome that is now behind the front desk is opening up a drawer and getting his own oatmeal raisin cookie.
Cookies.
Okay.
Anyway, I got my cookie.
Anyway, the double doors open, and there is a very small room with no other exit.
Okay.
I go into the small room.
As does
far
the
as
human.
Xanthus follows and tries to encourage the kenku to come along.
Let's go, friends! We're gonna get you taken care of. And I try to march seriously.
Okay, the kenku follow you. They've been following you for a while now, so they just follow in. Okay, a bit of a tight squeeze. All right, I just need to press the button over here.
Can I
And
press it with my tail?
just that one. Just that one.
Beep!
Okay. You all feel the sudden sensation that you should probably be several inches shorter.
Good thing I made it actually a liquid.
And then you all feel like you need to be on the opposite side of the room that you are on. Whichever side you're on, you feel like you should be on the opposite side of it. And you feel like there is a gravitational force pushing you in that direction or pulling you in that direction. And this goes on for a few... Oh my gosh, that GIF. Oh my gosh, that GIF. No. Just
For
no.
those at home, it is a cat on a Roomba just riding it, and it goes underneath a dresser, and the cat liquefies to go underneath it by getting smushed.
This is... I do not condone squishing that cat. Hero, however, is squished.
Just like that.
Because I did say on social media it would happen. So there you go. It's happened. And then there is a ding sound, and the doors open, and it is a different hallway. All right, everyone out. I'd go first, but I can't.
I flop my way out.
That's my tail.
I'm out!
In my head canon, the doors open, and a 7-foot-tall tabaxi just pours out.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then rises up like the T-2000.
That's pretty much what I was imagining.
Oh, that's a nice GIF. Yeah, that
Liquid
works.
cat.
That works. Okay, so you all struggle to get out of the elevator, and the human, who has not yet introduced
you know
himself, says, "Okay, it's right down here, third door on the left, and do you mind if I go in first?"
By all means.
I want to see bright light, night light, bright light.
Yes.
This bright light.
I'm just going to let Miss Brightlight know that you're here to see her, and
I do a perception check.
you may, well, do a perception check for what?
I think they're lying.
That would be an insight check.
Well, then that one. I got a 21.
You get the sense that he is telling the truth. He does want to go in first, and you are at the right place, but perhaps he just wants to let Brightlight know and far enough in advance.
No, that's fine. I was worried that somehow this was like the evil guy who's making the ciphers, who all of a sudden was actually going to be behind the door and be like, "Mwahaha, I took over the city council." So I just wanted to make sure.
Well, you're right. When he opens that door, you're going to see Paige on the other side of it.
Oh, that's perfect. I think that's a better deal than like if it was this 9-hand man.
Yeah, she's working along with Mo.
Loved.
Actually, I don't think that would ever happen. I really don't see Mo and Paige working together at any point.
No.
But never mind about
that. Paige hates Mo.
But he looks like a demon dad, apparently.
Paige knows, and that's part of the reason Paige hates Mo.
I love that this is referencing a conversation that has happened elsewhere, so no one who listens to this is going to have it, and several people who are listening to it have no idea what we're talking about.
Paige has zero trust of Mo because she knows that all those smooth talkers only swindle.
Oh no, Mo is always upfront with his offers. You
Still
will get
smooth
exactly
talking,
what you
no
bargained
trust.
for.
No trust.
That's valid. That's valid.
No give orb. No trust. Paige wants knowledge. Anyway.
Anyway, the person opens the door, walks through, closes it behind them, and you wouldn't expect a sigh to be so loud that you hear it through a closed door. But you hear one. You've never seen a door rattle from a sigh before, but you may have seen that. And there's a moment of silence, and the door opens up, and the human's there, and he says, "Yeah, you can come in."
We found you, science! Also, I found you documents. I found you documents in this weird language that only I can read that explain how they make the ciphers and how they make the cipher weights. And we also found you some cipher weights that one we healed and the two we put on stasis from the cipher weight thing. And so that way you can figure out how it works and figure out a solution to fix them. Anyways, so I'm going to lay on the ground now. Bye.
If you'd like that in a slower speed.
No. That was fast enough to be almost gnomish. I got it.
I am playing with a reflection of light on a wall.
Bindle goes over to a light switch that's on the wall and flicks it, and then a red dot appears on the floor. And it starts to move.
I'm chasing and going, oh, by the way, these are our friends. They're kenku, and we helped them, and Father fixed one. Bye. And I'm chasing it.
Okay. It's just moving in random patterns on the floor in about a 12-foot diameter.
Good.
Okay, so a language only you can read, really. Okay, so let me take a look at this.
I got it from AOL Online CDs.
Mm-hmm.
They absorb my brain.
Sure, it's probably Aarakocra or Nagpa or something, or no, it's not.
Do you need me to read it to you? Because I read it earlier, but I don't remember much because I'm bad at that. But I can read it again.
I've got a thing that can translate any language, so let's going to put this in here, and it is saying those aren't letters.
Do you need me to read it?
No, I'm sure I just need to fiddle with the dials here a little bit. So it's maybe if I.
Because I read it and then I was like, wow, Nightlight needs to read this. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I can be helpful. And then that's when I was like, we should go back and talk to Nightlight so we can bring a solution to stop the ciphers. And that's when we headed back.
While you're talking, Bindle has pulled some type of cartridge out of the device that she put the document in, has blown into it and put it back in and wiggled it a little bit. and
four of cartridges.
By the way, you're really not supposed to do that because the moisture from your breath actually helps to corrode them faster. So doing that makes it work less often. But never mind about that.
That would explain why my Mario 64...
Someone intended that.
Yeah, that would explain why Mario 64 no longer plays music and only has sound effects and lights.
Unplugging it and plugging it back in could readjust things, and that could fix it. So you would get immediate results because you unplugged it and plugged it back in. But the blowing on it would cause longer-term damage from corrosion. With that said, Bindle eventually kicks the machine because it's not working, rips the document out, and then sort of like moves it over and forcefully hands it to Hero. Fine, read it.
I read it to her while laying on the ground.
Okay, and we've already gone over that information in a previous session. It was basically a log of when things started to do certain things, depending on... it was showing the timeline for creating cipher whites, whether they were just, dead bodies that were left out to be turned into cipher whites, or if they were individuals who were captured and had things installed in them. And Bindle goes a bit pale as you're reading it.
I also stop whenever something similar, and I'm like, oh yeah, and that kenku did that, and we stopped it with this, and then that kenku did that, and we stopped it with this, but it's cool because then we cured this one with this, and that's why we wanted to talk to you. Also, she can see with her eye closed.
That's an interesting hairstyle you've got.
Thanks.
Do you want that taken care of?
No. I'm all right now.
Okay. I feel like with that you wouldn't be able to wear a hat.
I don't like hats. Anyway.
Okay. That's valid. All right. But you three. Well, you two. What what do you say we get those things out of you? And they nod
my hope.
vigorously at that. Okay, well, not everyone who works here is an artificer. We have quite a few clerics. Some of them are higher, have more skills than others. So we can probably take care of that. You said that the bead that you used cast what spell?
Player is forgetting.
I believe it was Greater Restoration, if memory serves.
Greater Restoration, yes, that was correct.
Okay, yeah, we can manage that. We have enough incidents here where Greater Restoration is one of the things that they prepare every day. And I mean, like, literally, every day it needs to be used on someone or something that used to be someone.
Well, that's lucky for our kenku friends, but sad for the state of affairs of the nation here.
Well, I mean, science needs to move forward. And sometimes, if you want to make an omelet, there needs to be a few eggs that get transmogrified into a cybernetic Tyrannosaurus Rex. It happens.
Okay, it happens.
Yeah. So, Kevin, could you take him to the recovery suite? Oh, yeah, I'm on it. Come on, you three. Let's go. And the human, who apparently is named Kevin, leads the three kenku out. Okay. You brought a lot of information in.
Did we help? You asked us and we tried. Did we help?
I'm actually going to need a little while to process this, to be honest.
There's also a train underground.
A what now?
A train. It goes and it makes the walls really rumble and weird, and then it goes through and it like destroys everything, and it's like really loud.
Okay.
And it goes super fast.
Did you run into an older human woman?
Did we?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
But we ran into a bunch of goblins who told us to stare at an orb, but then they gave me food and I got my head stuck in a pot. And they all
The goblins had this thing too.
Yeah, they all had the weird shooty thing on their head too, and they could all talk to each other telepathically.
I think they gave it to me.
They gave it to you.
I woke up there and this was here.
There was also this really shiny wall that I couldn't open up, even though I tried.
So, ciphers they seem to be mostly random. You said the goblins had that too?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like one or two of them?
They talked to. All of them.
All of them.
The hills were ciphers. I took a bite of the ground and it tasted like a cipher. That is true. I did do that. It's true.
I strongly recommend that you do not eat any more ciphers.
Okay, but one of them gave me 4 arms.
You've got 4 arms. That's the lower part of your arm. That's a forearm. Yeah.
No, like I had second pair of arms, and then they disappeared. And then Dad, I think Father's still on a caffeine patch from 3 days ago. He hasn't slept once. And then I ate that CD, and it made me read things. And then also there is a pill that took away. I forgot the name. Agrippa took away, and then yeah.
I tried so hard to keep them away from her.
And you got so far.
By which I mean him.
And in the end, it didn't even matter.
But yeah, there's lots of ciphers. I tried not to take a lot of them, but some of them, like the CD, just attached itself to my forehead. Also, the water down there is milky colored.
I don't think that was
wasn't
water.
actually water.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't water.
But it tasted funny.
I think I need a drink. Who wants to go to the cafeteria?
Milky-colored water.
Okay. Can I get another cookie?
Yeah, they've got them there.
Cookie?
Okay, so Bindle turns off the machine that is broadcasting the little red dot on the floor, and I can't believe she had one of those. Actually, I can. I did it. It's my fault.
You made it.
I made it. It's my fault. I can't believe it's my fault.
I can't believe I did this.
I can't believe it's my fault, said every white guy ever.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Well, yeah, that's because it's lard. That's how they make the cookies very delicious. Anyway, Bindle leads you down to the cafeteria, which is a very large room. There is a buffet-style area where you can pick up various things on one side, and there's a bunch of long tables all over the place. There is an espresso machine available for those who care. There is
espresso.
There is a counter that has a variety of individually wrapped cookies.
Yes.
And Bindle, and despite what people usually think when they hear someone say, I need a drink, does not go for alcohol, which they do have a wet bar available. Instead, gets a custom coffee drink that appears to be at least 90% whipped cream.
I want it.
With chocolate sprinkles on top. Okay, so this is a lot to process. You did not see an older woman at all. She would have had like a bunch of like mage hands around her permanently. Nothing like that?
No, we turned around as soon as we found the kenku and these documents because we thought that we should give it to you and get some more information and maybe get some help before we go deeper in case we find more people who are like this.
Okay.
I would have noticed someone with permanent mage.
Okay.
Is that the 9-hand person?
Umeli of the 9 Hands. Yeah, she was a bit of a legend here for a while. Very, very talented Ogmanite. She wasn't really an artificer, but her research into magical spells was incredible. She went a little off the deep end a while back and kind of just disappeared. It was a little bit after the ciphers started appearing.
Perhaps.
It says she did it.
Yeah. Isn't that what those instructions said? Weren't they in Ameli mentioned by name?
Yeah, it says the 9 hands did it, and the kenku said that that's who did it to them. And they were like, oh no, must stop the 9 hands. And I was like, okay, but we're going to get you healed first. And that's when
okay.
we came back.
You stopped reading before you got to that part. But,
yeah.
I
dear.
should, Hero, you should know.
Yeah.
When she says off the deep end, there is not a literal swimming pool.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. Okay, I was wondering.
I mean, she had a major realignment in her own personal moral code about what was and was not allowable when it came to scientific research. She decided hurting people was okay.
Okay, I was wondering what you meant.
Okay, so, yeah, that's a problem. The train thing, I don't know if that's good or bad. It's a thing. We'll just file that under column C for errata.
Erratacat? That's a Pokemon.
I'll take your word for it. Now, this thing on your forehead, were you conscious when it was put there? Did it grow? Was it implanted?
It's called fur.
Hero, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Nyx.
Okay, I'm cookie, and then I eat a cookie.
I woke up and it was there.
I don't know if I should be really worried about it or not. I mean,
gives me
yes.
true sight.
Well, that's handy. I wonder if we can replicate it.
What are you gonna do to try to replicate it?
Ideally, I'd take a small sample and see if I can grow a culture of whatever's making it.
Okay. I mean, as long as it doesn't hurt.
I mean, I hope it doesn't. I'd be taking a very small sample, but this is new. I'm not going to make a claim if I don't have more information.
It probably won't hurt you.
There is a thud, and most of the whipped cream on Bindle's drink of choice falls off the drink and onto the tabletop.
I lick it.
Bindle looks incredibly depressed.
That was not my fault.
Actually, wait, before I lick it, I put half of it back on the drink.
I don't... It was on the... Oh...
Probably got fur now.
His hands are clean. It's all right.
I'm licking my paws.
What do you mean, probably? Look, the whipped cream's a different color now. That's how much fur is on it.
How much fur do I have left after I got it scorched off by somebody? Anyway.
It wasn't your hands that got scorched.
Yeah, your hands weren't even close.
How do you think is on my cute little paw pads? They're adorable.
I can lend you a knife if you'd like to scrape it off.
It's not the... Oh...
Would you
There's
like
another
me to
thud.
get you some more whipped cream?
Do you want me to get you a new drink? I'll get you a new one. I'm sorry.
Yes, actually, I would very much like a new drink.
What was it?
She rattles off a bunch of things that your best understanding is that they are, in fact, words.
I say, can I get Bright Light's drink again?
The only words in there that you think made any sense were double double.
Yeah, I walk over and say, "Can I get another of Bright Light's drink? Thank you. Extra whipped cream."
So when you say this to the person behind the counter, they don't acknowledge you. They're just looking at the door to the back room.
Please.
Did you hear that?
What was okay? Perception check. What was I supposed to hear?
Well, yes. Give me a perception check. That's an excellent idea.
I got a 13.
You were easily distracted. You don't know what you were supposed to hear. You were
sorry.
busy licking whipped cream off of your paw pads.
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. Can I have one of Bindle's Bright Light's drinks?
I would say, okay, so Ellie has rolled a 16 for a perception check. So you know that there have been several thuds that have been felt. One of the thuds was, in fact, what caused the whipped cream to fall off. The thud was not from the whipped cream hitting the tabletop, which some people may have assumed from the sheer volume of whipped cream. But no, it was the other way around. The thud caused the whipped cream to fall. And there have been several thuds since then. On some tables, there is silverware rattling. On one table, there is a small gnome with a glass of water that has ripples appearing in the water every time there's a thud.
I begin to believe that something very large is approaching.
From the
I'm
kitchen,
right here.
Because where else would it appear?
there's another thud. I mean, the kitchen's just where we store the foodstuffs. The only big thing back there is a cow carcass we were going to be cooking.
Uh-oh.
Thud.
I jump behind the counter and go into the kitchen.
Do you have any history of zombie cows?
I'm a little concerned that I have to hesitate to answer based on several mitigating details. Hero,
Also,
when you
your
open...
cows-
Sorry?
Do your cows tend to create earth-shattering thuds when they walk?
Our cows tend to not walk because we get them pre-slaughtered
Where?
That does seem
in the
to be
farms just
worrisome.
outside of town. The Myconids raise them.
Possibly we should investigate this.
Well, as luck
already
would have
on
it, yep, Hero already decided to go to the back room. So, Hero, when you go to the back room, it's the kind of double doors that are made of metal with those little rounded corner windows that you'd see in restaurants.
Ooh, yes.
So you push those open, and you see what appears to be a cow that has been butchered.
Yeah.
So it has no skin. It's just the meat. And it's been moving around, knocking over boxes and stuff. There is a large mess in this back room from it just like running into things. And when you open up the doors, its head immediately swivels towards you.
Hi, I'm Hero.
Ooh.
Do I speak cow?
No, you do not speak cow. You have one additional language that is not one that anyone besides you that you're aware of knows.
Oh,
And it's not cow.
can I try orc?
There is no cow level.
I speak orc.
The cow carcass, after you introduce yourself,
Yeah.
scrapes one hoof against the ground in a manner that leaves a gouge in the floor and
Like
angles its
cast,
head down.
I would like to cast Hail of Thorns.
What does Hail of Thorns do? Please enlighten our audience.
The next time I hit a creature with a ranged weapon, the spell creates a rain of thorns that sprouts from my weapon. And in addition to attack, the target and each creature within 5 feet must make a dexterity saving throw, and I entangle it in thorns.
Okay, that's nice, but you're going to have to make a ranged attack for that to happen. And
I have dagger wrists.
no, you have daggers that
In my
come from
wrist.
magical sheaths that are strapped to your wrists. Your
And that's
wrists
the
are
ranged
not, in fact, daggers. I do want to make this clarification because some might be confused by this, possibly Hero. Now, the spell you cast, was it a bonus action?
Let me see. Yes.
Okay, then yes, you can throw a dagger as an action. But I must warn you that this thing is charging towards you, and you've already used your movement to get to the door.
You think I have feline agility,
Yes, I do think you have feline agility. You're absolutely right.
and I would like to use it to jump on top of the refrigerator.
Okay, The refrigerator is inside the storage area.
Yes,
So-
but it's up.
I see the logic in your plan, and I can see Hero totally doing this. I am going to, as a DM, turn towards that area that includes everyone else in the party and say, okay, so what you see is Hero opens up the double doors, yells, "Hi, I'm Hero." And then they go further into the storage area and the doors close behind them.
Did we hear the thumps?
You're gonna
Yes.
watch me get the dagger out, though.
Matter of fact, not only did you hear the thumps, if you didn't hear the thumps, Arepa pointed them out to you.
Oh, okay.
Like them to see me get the dagger ready and then jump forward.
Your back's to us, though.
And there was a
Hero.
countertop.
It's
Yeah.
Hero.
Do you not
You
think that
should know
Hero
better.
doesn't flourish anytime he does anything?
Yes, which means that there have been plenty false alarms. There was one point when you literally attacked an ancient TV,
It's true.
an ancient broken TV.
Okay, so anyways, I'm going to jump on top of the thing and jump super, super fast. Zoom! And then I am going to throw a dagger.
By the way, I'm allowing this to resolve, but then we are going to roll for initiative.
I got a 22 to hit.
That's a glancing blow.
Okay, now I have a lot of plus things to do. So let's see. So that's that plus that plus... That's that special trait I have. 8. Is that the right size die? Yeah, okay. So I did 11 points of damage.
Okay. But you also had your spell go off, or you're including that in the damage.
Yes, I was.
Wonderful.
So I got a 5 plus 5 plus 1, because I also have my Colossus Slayer.
So we have 2 female gnomes in the party, so I have to make sure I'm putting in the right initiative for the right character. And it's throwing me off, because wouldn't you know it, I can get confused by anything. I'm a good DM that way. Wait. Oh. Hero, could you roll initiative for me?
I did.
Ah, I see. I had scrolled up looking for it, and then you added it, and it was at the bottom below.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize.
How dare you do the right thing?
I'm sorry. Anyway.
That's okay. I never expect you to do the right thing again. Wait.
Okay, bye.
And you said 11 points of damage, right?
Yee.
Okay, so this thing charges at you. But it charges at where you were. Where you were was in front of the double doors. Then you weren't there anymore. You were on top of a refrigerator, throwing a dagger at it,
Oh, thank
and thorns were exploding everywhere. Rips through the carcass, knocks out huge chunks of meat going in different directions. Those steaks are tenderized, I can tell you. And with a mighty... it goes through the double doors, knocking one of them off its hinges entirely and severely denting the other one. And then suddenly you're alone in a storeroom.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, in the rest of the cafeteria,
Sees a cow carcass burst through the double doors where Hero just was. It goes through the countertop that was in front of the double doors and is now in the seating area of the cafeteria. There are patrons and employees that are scattering to the 9 winds. And we've been playing for about an hour. What do you say we take a short break?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, good, because I have pressed the buttons. We are back, and so what you have seen is a cow that has been butchered burst through a set of double doors from a back storage room in a cafeteria, go through a counter, skid to a stop, and then rise up on its hind limbs and scream at you. Nyx, how would you like to react to this? It is your turn.
Magic
There's also-
missile.
That's a classic. Go ahead and roll your damage. By the way, I will say there is a light dander of cat fur on this because it was in the same room as a tabaxi and therefore is still covered with fur.
It's a skill.
It's an innate racial ability.
9. I hit it with
All
9.
right. 9 damage. Done. All right, next up, we have Hero. You are alone in a storeroom.
I would like to get down and get back to the door.
Okay. The door does not push open in a cool way like it did on your way in because it has been severely damaged by the cow thing.
Oh.
But you can still go through it easily.
Yeah, so I do. And it's fine because, they're looking at the cow. So like, bro, it's cool. So anyway, I would then, now that I have slightly more room and I'm not trapped in a closet with a cow, I would like to use my bow and arrow.
To be fair, it was a fairly large storage room. There was lots of room to move back there. But never mind.
Feel
Okay.
comfortable with the size of the cow, okay? So anyways, I roll a 26.
You just barely graze it.
Okay. And then let's see, I get that plus that plus
I forgot that you picked a subclass that just adds extra damage to your attacks.
Ooh! Okay! So I did 20 points of damage.
Oof.
I got a 10, a 3, and a 7.
It doesn't like that.
I hide behind the counter.
7-foot-tall cat person doesn't usually hide well behind a counter made for gnomes. But the attempt is made.
I am part liquid.
Only part, though. Xanthus.
All right, we have clearly some sort of enemy that has entered the establishment. I will move over to said undead cow. If I have enough move, if I can make it there in a turn, I will then attempt to hit it with one of the many weapons I carry about my person.
Okay.
The question is which weapon?
As you approach it, you see that there's something sticking out of its chest.
Oh, is it grabbable?
It looks like it is firmly implanted into it.
Okay, so that would be a no.
If Tony Stark was an undead cow, this is in the right place for that.
Okay, so it would be it's
my
potentially
arrow?
removable, but not easily removable, and certainly not, say, in the middle of combat. All right, then we'll continue with my original plan, and we shall attack it with a weapon. You know what? We're going to see if we can slice off some undead steak, and we're going to use my longsword. That would
Okay, an 8 is not going to hit.
Nope. But I will be in front of said cow when it decides to attack again. Hopefully it will think that I am a worthy foe.
It might. We get to find out because it's now the cow's turn.
Yay.
It looks down on you. Literally.
That's rude.
Well, it's rude and also a literal thing that it does, because if you take a cow and get it to stand on its hind legs, it will be taller than most people, and tieflings are human-sized. So, no, Cindy, you are wrong. There is no cow level. There is no cow level.
What sort of Blizzard game is this?
One of its front limbs cracks. There's several popping noises and cracking noises you hear inside of it, and parts at the end of that limb rearranged to be a very simple-looking and very disturbing hand. And it reaches over and pulls a cleaver out that was stuck into it, apparently, and takes a swing at you with the cleaver.
Okay. That is certainly unusual for a cow.
Well, it's unusual for anything that's been butchered to try to attack.
True.
In this case, I got a 24 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay, you take 17 points of slashing damage.
Ouch. I don't like that damage.
You're 17 points of slashing damage.
But I think what I'm going to do, since I have been harmed, I think I'm going to try to do my... Oh, I used it already. Never mind.
You used what?
I was going to use my Hellish Rebuke, but I haven't...
Oh, yeah, you haven't had a long rest since last session.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
okay.
never
I
mind.
was thinking, oh, well, we're going to have that 2 sessions in a row, because the previous game, the one at 5 o'clock, had a Hellish Rebuke used. But never mind about that. Okay. Well, it only gets 1 attack per turn, so we are done with that. And now it is Aripa's turn.
Aripa casts Ray of Sickness at the cow carcass.
What does Ray of Sickness do?
Can
I
that
have
be
to
cured
make
by
a-
my potion? I guess I get inspiration.
Why am I slowly turning into Aaron from Game Grumps, where I laugh so hard I cough? So that has to be inspiration, by the way, because you made me laugh. But I will ask again, what does Ray of Sickness do? A sickening... Oh, I see you typed it. A sickening greenish energy lashes towards the creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack. 2d8 poison damage. And a constitution saving throw. Okay, roll your attack.
24.
It hits. It hits spot on and does nothing.
Oh, okay.
It appears to be immune to poison damage.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, something has been learned. And we are back up at the start of the initiative with Nyx.
I'm going to do Ray of Frost. Wow, that's an 8.
Well, unfortunately, that's not going to hit either. But hey, there's now an area of chilled drinks that wasn't there before. Get your iced coffee. Hero,
Yes.
it is your turn.
Do you need a hero? Anyway, so I would like to stay behind my counter that I have, because I feel safe behind it. Who just left? Oh, sorry, Cindy. Gotcha. Was scared for a moment. Anyway, so I'm gonna stay behind the counter I'm behind, and I'm gonna shoot him with a longbow again. I got a 17.
A 17. Let me check. That will hit.
Okay, so let's see. So we got that plus that equals 19 points of damage.
Okay. Not as good as last time. Xanthus.
Okay, we're going to try this again. 17, much better.
Okay, a 17 will hit.
Okay, what I'd like to do, since I connected, I'm going to use one of my paladin-like abilities and smite said creature. Divine Smite. I will expend a first-level spell slot, and I'm assuming, I think with a safe amount, that this creature is undead.
It's a good guess.
It's a reasonably good guess, since it's a carcass of some way that is moving when it should not. So a Divine Smite will do 2d8 extra damage of radiant damage, and since it is an undead creature, it will do an additional 1d8 damage. So I will just simply roll that beautiful bean footage,
I love that line has entered our lexicon, by the way.
and I will do an additional 16 points of radiant damage to compare on top of the 9 slashing I do. So a total of 25.
Okay, it's bloodied.
Yay.
Okay, and it is now the cow's turn. It turns its back to you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, that's your first thought. Really what it does is it staggers back and sort of turns in the process of staggering. But with your perception checks, I'm going to say that to you, Xanthus, it looks like it just turns its back to you because you don't notice that it's staggering. However, it turns to face Hero.
I tell it no.
And the thing that's lodged in his chest starts to glow and have arcing lightning appear around it. And it shoots out a beam of lightning at you.
Can I use my super quick cat abilities to say no?
I mean, yes, but unless that's a verbal component for a spell, it does nothing.
No, I'm
and
moving double speed. Can I just be like, nope?
Not as unless you have an ability that says as a reaction you can do something. No.
Dang it.
I will say, and I just looked up the rules to make sure that I'm doing this properly. I will say that because you have stated more than once that you're hiding behind the counter, that will count as half cover for you.
Yes.
So you're getting a +2 bonus to your AC while you're behind the counter.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to roll. That is a 23.
Oh, it.
You cut out there, and from what little I heard, that might be for the best.
I got hit.
Yes. You are going to take 24 lightning damage.
I am on the ground. That was more than my max HP.
Okay, so this part here where it says to make a dexterity saving throw or be knocked prone.
Can I do that? Can I do that just to avoid it?
No, that's to avoid being knocked prone. It has taken you down.
Oh, I am prone.
Okay, and that is its turn.
Can I get shot? Can I yell out, Father?
Yes, I will allow it.
Father! Help!
I love that it cut off the last part of each of those words you said, including that lat. So it was equal opportunity outages. It cut off the same amount of everything. Arepa.
Second level chromatic orb for another 24.
A 24 will hit.
And this is fire damage. 22 of them, to be specific.
Okay, I put that damage in.
And as I have no bonus actions,
It's the end of your turn.
it's the end of my turn.
Okay. Now, I didn't roll for Jaren. So he's still in my encounter tracker. He just put him at the end of it. So I guess by default, the cleric goes last.
Can the cleric heal me?
I'm going to say, sure, Jaren is there, and he comes over and he casts a healing spell on you. I'm not going to play him as well as Eric plays him, because if Eric wants that, he's going to have to be here. Ooh, and he's got a lot of spells already used, because he hasn't had a long rest either. He's got no second-level spells left. Okay, so he's going to cast Inflict Wounds. No, he's not. No, wrong spell. He is going to cast Cure Wounds on you. And that's going to be 12 points.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank goodness.
Of damage.
No. And then as a bonus, he's going to cast Healing Word on the Paladin.
Dad, you do care. Yes,
of course I do. Oh, and that is max healing. So that is 8 points healed to Xanthus.
Okay.
And it looks like Jaren has no spells left.
Well, they can go
Eric's going to come back and... Eric's going to come back and be like, okay, I'm ready to cast a spell, and, well, he can cast Mending. I love that he's playing another Dwarf Cleric with Mending. Oh, only people from the first campaign will understand what a joy that is. And where's my tab with the encounter tracker? There it is. Okay, Nyx, it's your turn.
Is Hero between me and the
No.
bowl?
No, Hero's on the far side of the room from you.
I'm in the still near the kitchen door.
Matter of fact, you can't even see Hero because Hero's behind a counter right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the counter's in my way.
Yeah. See?
Well, that's only because I'm like 3 foot tall.
No,
To be fair, your true sight is a foot higher than that.
Oh, true. I
The
could
true
see
sight
through the
makes you
counter with
tall.
the true sight.
Well, no, you can't see through things with true sight. But you could see anything that's invisible or on the ethereal plane with true sight.
Alright, I'm gonna do Burning Hands at the cow.
Cook that steak.
Yep.
What's my target number?
14.
Okay, it has a 4. Would you accept a 4?
Sure, for standing right there.
Okay.
Hit with 13.
It is flame broiled. Well, more so. It's already been hit with a chromatic orb that did fire damage, but it was rare before, now it's medium rare. Hero, you are prone, and all of your fur is standing on end because you got hit by lightning.
I don't like this. Is there a cookie nearby?
Might be frozen.
The cookies are at one of the kiosk-style counters, not the one you hid behind.
Am I near
so
them?
No. You're going to have to leave cover to get to them.
Fine. And then I stand up and I shoot it again with an arrow, and then I duck back down again because I don't trust it. I don't move, I just go up and down, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Okay, there was just silence for a moment after I said that, and I was like, oh no, did I do something wrong? Okay.
It's because you disconnected.
Okay. So, does a 16 hit?
A 16 just hits.
Okay, that's our quota we're going for. I'm gonna guess that my concentration spell failed when I died.
Well, when you were rendered unconscious, yes.
Okay. So that means I only just get my normal 2 die instead of 3. Fine.
To die or not to die? That is the question.
Okay, so I got 8 points of damage this time.
Alrighty. Xanthus, it has turned its back on you. How do you react to this?
I will again use my sword.
Your sword?
As long as it hasn't run away from me.
He's got a sword.
We all have swords.
No, Hero's got a dagger.
Good.
And I don't think the gnomes have, like, any melee weapons, really.
I also got a bow.
Okay, that's an 11. That's not gonna hit.
Okay. I keep trying to cool it off, waving my sword in its back.
Okay. Well, you did get its attention, though. It turns back at you and tries to gore you with its horns.
Okay.
Because why would I have it do the same attack twice? That's silly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 16 to hit.
That will miss.
Okay. It tries to gore you and realizes that you are several feet shorter than it and still standing on its hind legs. So it did not work as intended. Arepa.
You couldn't hear me, could you?
No.
Another chromatic orb.
What
That's
color
a
is
quality
this one?
orb.
This one, frost.
Ooh.
Well, you don't want to overcook the steak.
Yeah. 19, will that hit?
A 19 will hit.
For a titanic 9 damage.
Oof. It's got a light frosting on it now.
Frosting or frosting?
Yes. I mean, it was very close to the cookies. Okay, and it is Jaren's turn. Looking at the zombie cow stats when I'm trying to RP Jaren does not work. Jaren does not have a gore attack. If he did, I'd have many more concerns than I already have. But he is going to have to go in with his mace. So he runs up to it and sprays some aerosolized container at it. That's not true.
Jaren, what are you doing this turn? Moo.
I rolled a 12 for Jaren. So he tries to kneecap it, but its kneecap is a bit tougher than he thought it was. And now we are back up to the top with Nyx.
Alright, I'm gonna do Ray of Frost again. 15.
A 15 just misses. Hero,
Yes.
you're up.
My turn. No, my name's Hero. Anyway. Is there like a bakery case I can climb on top of or something?
I mean, you would have to leave the cover that you're currently behind, but there is a bakery case, yes.
Really cool to climb on top of, okay?
It's got these multi-tier shelves where each shelf is a bit smaller in diameter than the one that's underneath it. It's
I'd like to
filled
be on
with
the top
various
one.
flavors of muffin.
I will also eat the muffin that's on top of it.
I will allow you to do that as a bonus action, but the muffins are the extra large ones that you can get at Perkins. I will require a dexterity roll. I would allow acrobatics to see if you can climb up on this well, because you are a 7-foot-tall cat person, and there are
I got a
weight
23.
requirements. Okay, so yes, somehow you manage to stand on top of this. You hear creaking sounds and snapping sounds coming from what you're standing on. It's probably not in the same condition as it was before. You're not going to be able to repeat this, but you're there.
That's what's important. I shoot it again with my longbow.
Okay. And then as a bonus action, you eat what appears to be a bran muffin.
Okay, and I got a 25.
The 25 will hit.
And let's see, it's that plus that. 12 damage.
Okay. There's a lot of parts of this creature where the meat's been either seared off or frozen off or chopped off so that there's just like bones, but it's still cohesive enough that it's still doing things. Xanthus, you're up.
Okay. Slowly beating it down. Find the sword again. I am 1 for 3. There's a crit. Woohoo!
There is a crit.
That rolls a crit damage. I think we'll use my last spell to smite with this attack so that all the smite damage can be crit.
So with the bonuses you have for smite, I'm not going to ask you to roll.
Okay.
How do you want to do this?
Okay. We will cleft it in twain from its around the middle of the beast if I can.
Okay, so you're not cutting it in half vertically, you're cutting it in half horizontally.
No, vertically. Sorry, from top to bottom, but somewhere in the middle of it, if I can get around to it. Otherwise, I will just.
With a smite versus a creature that's undead, I'll say you can cut the whole thing in half. You can bisect it.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay. So it's that cool anime thing where everything goes black, and you just see this bright arc of a white streak go from top to bottom. And then the lights come on again, and the creature's still there in front of you, and it sort of just collapses into two equal halves.
I want to clap again. Can I roll the clap?
Yes, you may roll to clap.
Let's see, that was performance.
By the way, the thing that was stuck in its chest, you also cut through that, and it is
19.
sparking a lot of lightning.
Ooh, well, that could end badly.
Well, you decide if you want to stand there.
No, I don't want to stand anywhere near the lightning. I'm in metal armor.
Well, that's an excellent conductor.
Yes, so let's move away from the lightning.
Okay. What was the clapping roll?
I got a 19 to clap. 19.
Okay. Yes, you do an excellent job clapping. Someone needs to clap for this. I mean, there's some guy over in the corner going, "Please clap," but no one's paying attention to him.
Please.
There went my roll anyway. Took it forever.
And after Xanthus steps away, it's just a few seconds later where both halves of whatever thing was in its chest explode, but it's not a huge explosion. You stepped out of range, but you're very glad you stepped out of range because it looked like there are now craters in the two separate halves of chest cavity where that thing was. Meanwhile, over in a corner, Bindle's just sort of huddled behind a chair, peeking up over it, and going, "What is with... I've met you twice, and both times something large and dangerous tries to kill you." Well,
Throw a muffin.
specifically the tabaxi, but still.
Throw a muffin.
You throw a muffin.
I throw a muffin at Bindle to get him to calm down.
Why are you throwing muffins at me? You gotta pay for those. But you don't throw them.
But you wanted one, and I don't want to get down.
I wanted a latte.
I tried to order one, but then the cow showed up instead, so they asked me to help with the cow, so I did. But this is chocolate chip.
Okay, yes, I would actually love a chocolate chip muffin.
See? I took the brand one because I didn't think you would want that one as much.
You ate the... Oh, we usually only recommend those for senior citizens that don't like prunes.
Well, it was in the place I was standing, so I ate it.
I'm just saying, if a member of your party knows prestidigitation, that's going to be a good thing. So on that horrid note of words that just came out of my mouth, we're going to end it here for the evening. There's exposition to be given, but it's getting late, and we've been recording for about 2 hours. So we're not going to do that tonight. Thank you, everyone, for playing. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Tonight, we've been joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Ellie got to join us, which is awesome. We also had April and Matt and Millie, and Cindy was with us for a while, but then left. And let's do some plugs. So Ellie coded a thing for a game that I made called Kobolds in Space, which is really neat, and it's the address I never remember off the top of my head. It's node.noel.codes, correct?
Sure.
Ellie is typing. I was very close. Node.noel.codes/kobold. And it goes with a tabletop game that I made with a bunch of my friends, and it is free to download and play. You can pay if you want. It's pay what you want, so you can download it for free, and that's great. And that online resource is really, really neat for helping to set the game up. It makes the characters for you, gives you a scenario. It's really awesome. Also, Matt's brother-in-law writes books. You can get those at nogodsbeforeus.com. And Millie streams, twitch.tv/magicalmillie. Sometimes it is really neat games, like a game that's a parody of The Average Startup, which is really fun to watch. And sometimes it's reading fiction. Sometimes it is reading fiction of dubious quality. And I will leave there are plenty of blanks that I will leave to other people to fill in, but this is not that kind of podcast. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Help us keep the lights on. And you can join other illustrious patrons, including Chris, Ellie, Eric, Janatalock, Mickey, Shan, and Walter. And until next time, this is Crash saying, okay, you brought how many ciphers back with you? You brought that many back. Here. How are we all still alive? Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.